Hello, everyone, and welcome to the debrief show for Brighton 1, West Ham United 1. This is the show where the Hammers Chat subscribers have their say. If you're joining me live, thank you very much. Please get your thoughts on all things West Ham into the live chat. We'll get your comments up here across this show. I'll be live for the next half an hour. I appreciate you joining me and giving me your company on this Monday evening. You're watching it a little bit later on Monday, Tuesday, maybe through to Wednesday. Get involved in the comment section below. And I'm going to kick it off with a debate that I've seen since the full-time whistle against Brighton. Really, I think there's been a bit of a split as to what is to blame for West Ham only drawing against Brighton. But you can subscribe to more than one different reason. And I think a large part of that debate has been around Nuno. Is it his fault? Did he invite the pressure on too much? Therefore, did his tactics mean we surrendered the lead against Brighton? Now, I've seen a lot of people suggest yes, and a lot of people suggest no. And I'm on the no side for the Brighton match only. And I think this is where it's a real debate about Nuno and his tactics and how he parks the bus and stuff, because this is exactly what I expected from him. And it's something that Nottingham Forest did a lot and well last season. A large part of the reason Nottingham Forest finished 7th in the league is because of these tactics. The only difference is Nottingham Forest were really good at defending and holding on leads, and also had that pace on the counter-attack so they could extend their lead. I would suggest that whilst we are improving defensively, we're not quite there yet, but we also don't have that pace on the counter-attack at the latter stages of the game, because once he makes his subs, he's not really got anyone to bring on to give us that threat. And I think if I go back to the Bournemouth game in particular, I think that was 100% Nuno's fault that second half. That 2-0 up at half-time and drawn 2-2. I 100% blamed Nuno for us dropping those 2 points against Bournemouth. Against Liverpool, we were never in the lead, but I don't think his tactics were great. I don't think we laid a glove on Liverpool whatsoever. And then when you see the results after their game against us, that defeat to Liverpool only gets worse, really, with them drawing a couple of games since. And then we come to the Man United game, and I don't think his tactics cost us anything. But I was disappointed with that sub, the Callum Wilson sub. I would have liked to have seen Earthy Marshall come on and try and win the game, because I felt we had momentum, and I think that sub took momentum away from us. But I don't think it cost us anything. There was so few minutes left in the match. I would really struggle to make the case that we would go on and get the winner. So unhappy with Bournemouth, unhappy with Liverpool, okay with Man U. But yesterday, I don't really blame him. I think there was one sub I was unhappy with, and that was Fernandes for Souček. I thought Fernandes was excellent. I'd have left him on the pitch, and I don't think he was tiring that much. But in possession, I thought he was our best player. But also, weirdly, and this is, I guess, the frustrating thing for me, I thought Fernandes was our best player out of possession as well. He was the one winning the ball back. So when we are under the cosh, we are defending. I think Fernandes is the type of midfielder you want, someone that's going to get stuck in, win the ball back, and keep control of it. So that was the one sub I disagreed with. And because I think there's a foul on Mavropanos, and then I don't like the handball. What I can concede is that the laws of the game were applied correctly. I just think the rule is ridiculous and utterly stupid. The fact that if Ariola didn't save the first effort a goal, the goal would have been disallowed. But because he saved it, the goal stands. A stupid rule, but I can admit and concede that the referee applied the rules and the laws of the game correctly, but not for the Mavropanos one. So because I feel that goal should have been ruled out, I find it hard to blame Nuno. I think he did everything that he had to do to get 3 points yesterday. And I thought we had a lot more threat in that game than we did against Man U, Liverpool and Bournemouth, possibly combined. The best 4 or 5 chances yesterday all fell to West Ham. I thought tactically he got it spot on. I wasn't happy with the lineup when it came out. Don't think it caused us any problems. So the way I see it, I think for me, I can blame Nuno for some games, but yesterday isn't one. But I've seen a lot of criticism for him yesterday, and I understand why. It's not like I don't get it. I understand where they're coming from. But I want to have a conversation about it tonight, but also anything else that you want to discuss. It doesn't have to be about Nuno's tactics. We can discuss Todibo. He's in excellent form at the minute. We can discuss Fernandes. I think he's really growing into his role at West Ham. We can discuss Wan-Bissaka and Diouf there away. And I've seen A couple of people suggest that perhaps we shouldn't have brought Myers on in those circumstances, 1-0 up. The reason I'm okay with it is because I do wonder if Myers is Juve's replacement for when he goes to African Cup of Nations. Obviously, we've got Kyle Walker-Peters, but he can't replace Wan-Bissaka and Juve. He can replace one of them. And I'd imagine initially the plan would have been to play Scarles and Walker-Peters, but given that Scarles isn't quite back yet from injury, he's going to have to come up with something. And if he has fallen out with Igor, now we don't know because he was ineligible for yesterday's game, but he was absent from Man U, as was Guilherme and Füllkrug, but only one of them was back yesterday. Maybe Myers is who he's looking at to replace Juve when he's away at the African Cup of Nations. We don't know yet, but if that is the case, I would suggest it's maybe a wise idea to blood him when you can, because the next game is Aston Villa, an even more difficult fixture. Anyway, right then, in the old live chat, let's see what people are saying. I'm going to start with Foxes. I'm tired of defending the defensive tactics season after season. Randy saying yes and no. No in terms of the fact that we had multiple chances, which we were not clinical enough, but yes in terms of the subs of Fernandes for Souček and inviting the pressure on ultimately cost us. Randy also went on saying Nuno won't change his approach and keeping a clean sheet when going in front rather than going for the killer or instinct or getting the extra goal. I think he will do that, Randy. He just doesn't have the players to do it. I can only be proven correct, though, when and if he gets the players he wants in the January transfer window. I would expect post-January, we will still do the same thing. I think he would in the same situation. I think he'd do the same subs, but it wouldn't be Souček coming on for Fernandes. Hopefully, it would be a winger that comes on for Fernandes instead. So we've got that counter-attacking threat there. I think that's the issue at the minute. He just doesn't have the required components. Simon says our counter-attacking game relies too much on Somerville, who's injury-prone and cannot finish. Until the window opens, we need to maximise ball possession, and that means playing our best midfield. Ryan says, I do think Nuno's the right manager for us. We just need to not throw some of these games away and turn these draws into wins. It's all the qualities to be perfect West Ham manager. And Randy also says, as long as we can stay within touching distance of the pack going into the January transfer window, then hopefully we can sign the quality and quantity in the squad. But ultimately, the board have to deliver. I agree with all of those things. Ryan also said, if we back Nuno in January, I believe we will be all right. Just need to accumulate enough points until then. Mancunian said, we got what we deserved for inviting Brighton on. There were some decent performances from the players lately, but thanks to negative tactics, we languish in the relegation zone with 2 tough fixtures. Depends how you want to look at it. I mean, he's not wrong, Mancunian. I think all of those things are accurate. I think they are fair. Stats in it. No wins in 4, 1 defeat in 6. Both things are true. One sounds really bad. One sounds pretty bloody good, doesn't it? I do have to agree with what Mancunian is saying, so though that there's some decent performances from the players. I completely agree with that. I think individually there's some been really good performances, and I think the last few games the players are giving 100%. I've got absolutely no doubt that the players are behind Nuno and they're buying into what he's trying to do, because every single one of them is giving 100%. Even like Rodriguez, no minutes, starts yesterday. Absolutely zero complaints with his attitude on the pitch yesterday, which is really pleasing and reassuring. Simon says, got to hope that our January targets have been identified and we can move quickly for a change. I mean, it would be nice. Josh said, I'm really happy. It was the first time since peak Moyes I see a team who refused to roll over. I think that's also fair as well. I agree. Steve was saying, come on, people, let's give this a thumbs up. Oh, it helps out the channel massively, and I'm sure most of you already, but if not, click on the subscribe button. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Mandy went on to say, I do wish sometimes when Nuno does see if we are on top in terms of not needing to tweak it, the team when we're on top, it's having the courage to not change it, maybe slight tweaks. I think he did a slight tweak at halftime. I think, I think Kagdioglu and Weaver or De Coupier eventually were causing us problems, and he put Somerville and Bowen out on the wings in the second half. They were, in my opinion anyway, they're playing a striker in the first half. Second half, they were out wide. Paqueta went down the middle just to try and neutralise the Brighton threat. Josh said, I'm really happy. Oh, he just wrote the same comment again. X said, he didn't cost us anything. Well, actually, let me just read this because that's a double negative. Okay. He didn't cost us anything. He didn't cost us nothing. Double negative. I don't like double negatives. It's one of my pet hates. He didn't cost us nothing. It means he cost us something. He didn't cost us anything. All he's done is gain us points. Also, we would have had 3 points if it weren't for VAR. Well, I agree. Dim said, good John hindsight. I'm enjoying watching Nuno grow as he continues in the role. Harry said, let's not be negative. He's better than Potter. Thank you for the £2 super chat, Harry. Your support is much appreciated. And I agree, he's much better. I think he's the right manager for where we are right now. Chris says, FA Cup draw tonight. Thoughts? It's in half an hour, isn't it? I was going to try and overlap it, but I can't. I'm not going to. I'll be completely honest with you. I really want to watch Monday Night Football. I enjoy Monday Night Football. But tonight with the Salah and Carragher thing, and also I'm on Christmas tree assembling duty this evening. Oh, we've just gone and collected it from her granddad, so I'm going to have to assemble that tonight. So 6:30 off here, downstairs, start putting the tree together, Monday Night Football on, and then see who we get in the FA Cup. It doesn't really have to say magic. The draw is not as exciting as it used to be. I think once you get further in, maybe. I would like the lowest team possible at home in the cup. That's what I would like. I always want what is considered, whatever you consider to be the easiest draw, that one. That's the one I want. I'd like to progress in the FA Cup. Obviously, at the minute, we'd write it off, but hopefully, when it comes round, maybe we've got some points on the board and we can focus on the FA Cup. Maybe unlikely. I hope so. Pig said he's been testing with Rodriguez and that worked decently. Now he knows who to play and when and against who. Makes me confident that he's coming into Aston Villa Manchester City game. I don't fear the games as much as I thought. Liam said, I feel like Nuno coached to win. The squad is so thin. Once we get a few more players in, I feel we can play more suited to the Nuno way. Options off the bench are at the moment are lacking. I completely agree with everything that Liam just said there. Chloe has said, I think Nuno's definitely erring on the side of caution, but despite that, we've still picked up some respectable points given our fixtures. I'm personally not worried at the moment, at least. Pick said the only thing that I have a feeling that he will play Hermansen soon, and that scares me. I'm not sure. I know he said he likes something to click and then routine, and I think he does. And I know he changed the midfield, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that was due to cramp/fatigue, and that's why he changed it yesterday. But when you look at the back four, it's been quite settled. Wan-Bissaka, Mavpanos, as soon as he was fit, was back in. Todibo's been just staying there at left centre back now. Juve, Bowen, Fernandes, Paqueta, Wilson, as and when he's fully fit. I think he's got a settled team now, and I think that includes Areola. I don't think we'll see Hermansen. I think you might see him in the FA Cup third round to keep it on topic, but I don't see him playing unless someone comes in for him in January. I think we might sell him. Billy says you can't blame Nuno. It's his options in this squad. I would go as far to say this is the worst squad in terms of impact from the bench and attacking sense we've had for a long time. I agree with that. I agree. Randy's saying lack of quality and quantity in our squad for game changers and having a more balanced squad is still a major problem. Chris saying I was really happy we played Myers. Josh went on to say that we will be in the bottom three come Christmas, but by the end of January, we will be looking up. Really happy with Nuno. Fixtures are getting tasty, aren't they? You know, the next two tough, Villa, Man City. But then when you look at who we've got after that, Fulham, Wolves, Burnley, Brighton again, which has become winnable, let's face it. You know, Brighton at home feels like a difficult game. After we played them yesterday, I don't know, it feels a little bit more winnable. Man U's in there. We've got a really good, tasty run coming up. Original Dave saying, can the Patreon membership be paid 1 year in advance? It can be. You can also gift it. Maybe we'll do a little promo. Don't buy it tonight, Dave. Leave it with me. We've got 16% off at the minute. I'll see if we can put up to 20. I don't know if you can. 16 used to be the maximum, which is a really strange number. But we can knock up to 20. Maybe we'll put up to 20 if you take the annual membership. And you can buy it as a gift for someone, so they get like a code and they activate the code, and then they get the year's membership from when they activate it. So hopefully some of you watching this wouldn't mind Patreon as a Christmas gift from someone. Just keep your eyes on the channel over the next couple of days. Right, before I turn let me just click on that so I know where I am. I just need to say thank you to someone, and that is Lobster Man. Now, he left a super chat on the review yesterday, but I ended the stream, so I couldn't thank him. So, Lobster Man, hopefully you watch this. This is your thank you for the $10. Your support is huge. So, thanks for all the time you put into this channel. We appreciate it. I appreciate you tuning in. And speaking of tuning in, tomorrow night, our first under-21s watch-along on this channel, playing Colchester and the EFL Trophy. Massive game for the under-21s. And I know a few of you followed under-21s. It's quite small, you know, maybe 500 people watch the stream on YouTube. So there's not a big captive audience for me to try and tap into. But if anyone's kicking around tomorrow, I'm going to go live at 7:30. So if anyone's kicking around at 7:30 tomorrow, come to the channel. And hopefully together we can watch West Ham under-21s win against Colchester in the EFL Trophy. But my first watch along, it's going to be rubbish. And from a business perspective, it's going to earn about a £5 so for 2-3 hours work, £5. It's pretty bad value. But hopefully some of you tune in and we can enjoy it. I would like to build a little community within the community. So we've got like the subscribers that enjoy watching West Ham under-21s. Hopefully we can come together for most of the games and watch it together as well. I think it would be more enjoyable. Fingers crossed. So tomorrow, 7:30. TM says, table not looking good, but I do feel like we have the best manager by far out of any of the bottom 5, which will hopefully give us the edge. Well, let's think about that. Would you swap him for Rob Edwards? No. Would you swap him for Scott Parker? No. Would you swap him for Sean Dyche? No. Would you swap him for Daniel Farke? No. So I completely agree with TM there. Who's above them? Fulham, Silva. Yeah, okay, we'll stop there. Dobby says, I can't see us winning another game unless we go 1-0 up. I think that's harsh. I think that's harsh. We were very unlucky yesterday, in my opinion. A6, do you think Somerville can get any better than how he currently is, or is he bound to go back down the track of Benman? Yeah, I think he can improve. I think he offers a lot. We are a better team with Somerville in it. He needs to improve what he does in the final third. There's no doubt about it, but that can be coached, I think. I think he's got the ingredients. He just needs the recipe. Hopefully that makes sense. X saying, just need a quick striker who can run in behind. We need to stop buying strikers who need it on a plate, and we need some who make their own chances. Agree with that. Paul, if an offer of 12 to 15 million or more came in for Souček in January, would you take it? A bit more than that. I know you've said or more. I think it would be or more for me, but I would be willing to sell him in January, yes. I know he scored a couple of goals under Nuno, but I don't really see where he fits into this team at the moment. You know, Potts, Magassa, Fernandes, Paqueta is going to struggle to get into the midfield. And I know he's been used as a super sub striker, but if January goes to plan, that's Callum Wilson's role in it. So I'd be tempted, but it would have to be a tasty one. But it could also really fund the January transfer window because Souček's been here for so long. It would actually be a really good sale for PSR purposes as well. Try and do the maths in my head. I would have to sit and work it out because he signed a contract extension. It skews the PSR numbers. It's not straightforward, but he would nearly be, if he's not already, he would nearly be pure profit when it comes to PSR. So say you sold him for 20 million, effectively you could buy a 100 million pound player with that money, effectively, and it would just be square in this set of accounts. The problem is you'd have 20 million going forward for the next 4 seasons. But my point is that sale could be significant if we sold him. So it's yes for me. But Paul, what about yourself? Would you cash in 15 million? Would you cash in on Souček? I think it would have to be closer to 20 for me. Sam saying, and also you do not sell him. The rule would be you do not sell him to one of the teams around us in the Premier League. So he doesn't go to Forest, Leeds, or Burnley. They're not allowed to buy him. No. Sam said, if I'm of the opinion that Nuno's doing the right thing, but simply doesn't have the correct squad. I like that. That's a good comment. I like that. Well, I was saying I did say bottom 4 by January. I did say 1 point from the next 3. We got our 1, but his obsession with sitting back will cost us. 1 point per game isn't enough. Ben saying, understand not West Ham. What's your thoughts on Salah's comments? Think he's right or bang out of order? I think he's both. I like players being honest and open, but I do think they're going to go too far sometimes. However, let's face it, we're all wondering what's going on, aren't we? It's undroppable to we can't even get off the bench now. So there's definitely something happening. And I think he's just hurting. I think he's hurting. I think he is a little bit whingy, but he's just upset he's not playing football, and he's probably confused as to why he's not playing football as well. So it's honest, but I don't know. I guess I just see it as he's sending a message to the Liverpool fans. Yeah, if it was the other way around, if it was a West Ham player, I mean, it would be the equivalent, right? This is what it is. It's the equivalent of Nuno putting Bowen on the bench for 3 games and he doesn't come on, and then Bowen saying, "I don't know what's going on. I've been chucked under the bus." I think I'd agree with Bowen. I think I'd say, well, he has been. What is going on? So yeah, I think he's just hurt. Dean, it's all going to be quiet on the transfer room front. No, there's not. There's loads. I just haven't done a video. Do you think we're still looking for the same 3, especially now as it seems we've sorted out our defence midfield? I would still like a striker, a winger, and a centre back. That's why I would still like. Whether we get that or not remains to be seen. But a striker still needs to be the number 1 priority for me. Randy, in terms of African Cup of Nations, the lineup should be Ariola and Magassa at centre back, Todibo, Mavropanos at right back, Walker Peters at left back, Potts, Fernandez, Paqueta, Somerville, Bowen and Wilson, while we have no Wan-Bissaka or Diouf. He's got to come up with something, hasn't he? I don't really want to take, I'll be honest with you, Randy, I don't want to take Magassa out of midfield. I think he's looked excellent in there, so that's where I'm team leaving where he is, but you're right, something needs to give. Todibo, Mavropanos, Walker Peters, it's just that left back spot, isn't it? Or right back. You could move Walker Peters to left back. And I guess that's the advantage of Walker Peters. He can play either position. It's not like we've got a right back and no left back. We've got someone that's very capable of playing either side. You just need to find one for left or right while using Walker Peters as and where accordingly. And I guess that's where you're looking at Batcham, you're looking at Myers, you're hoping Skulls is back, Igor possibly. We've got options. I don't think we've got an obvious one, but there's a few players that can maybe do a job for us. It'll be interesting. I would not drop Magassa back, though, personally. Ryan would like to know what Nuno's done to Todibo because he's turned him into a beast. It's really good, isn't it? It's a relief. James says, depends. He's won us a point from how woeful we were when he took over. But how long does that last? Having said that, we had more than enough chances to win. I think that's it for me yesterday. I thought we had threat for majority of the game. Matty saying, no, he's not costing us points. Our defence is much better. Midfield's way better. Even Rodriguez looked all right. So it's just a goal situation, which I think will be addressed next. Come on, you Irons. Richie saying, Everton win takes us up to 5th. Can Moyes do a miracle and get Everton into European football? What a difference Grealish, Dewsbury Hall and Diane Garner have done to the squad. I think you've got a chance, Richie. I think you've got a chance of European football. You look at the other teams around you. Bournemouth are bang out of form. Brighton are a bit inconsistent. Crystal Palace are somehow doing better than I thought they were. They're right up there as well, aren't they? Sunderland, you'd imagine, would drop a few places. You feel like they'll still maybe finish top half, which is a fantastic season for them. But whether they can stay where they are, I'm not so sure. So I think Everton have got every chance of finishing top 8 and getting European football this season. It should be the aim. A couple of good players in transfer window too, and you'll be fine. Jonah saying Nuno did not cost us the game this time. That kick towards Mavropanos alone should nullify the goal, which is exactly what I think as well. Max said Nuno said his first aim was to make his current players better, and he has. With the coaches we now have in place in the first team setup and the youngsters we have in the academy, things are looking up. Original Dave saying, don't forget Nuno's backroom staff. They're playing their part. Nuno's building something, and the majority of us see it. He's having a good look and giving everyone a chance to prove themselves. I think a lot of people would be relaxed if we were 10th or something in the league. I think it's because we're in the bottom 3. I think that's making people nervous, but I think it's hard not to ignore that league position. John said, I know you plan a transfer window special, but curious about the kind of striker we should be. There's one in particular I would love, but I think he would cost serious money. He moved to his current club not long ago, and I can't remember how much for. I think I'd need to double check, but I would guess it was around about 35 million. So I think they'd want to make a little bit of a profit on him, but I think he'd fit what we're looking for. I'm not sure we'd get him though. But in terms of the style, the thing is, Chris Wood banged in the goals under Nuno, but I'm not sure that's the style of striker I want. I think I'd want like Prime Antonio, someone like that. Randy says, as long as we get the quality with the right positions, I think we can compete. Graham saying Nuno plays with a small squad who's playing pretty much who is going to play. Mancunian saying recycling Forest tactics with players unsuitable for such tactics may not be the way. These lads can play. Let them play, not just get behind the ball. I think that, again, can't disagree with what you've said. Recycling Forest tactics with players unsuitable. I think he is guilty of doing that. Chippy saying, technically, I think VAR cost us the win yesterday, but I think Nuno's tactic is risky and we should use offence as a form of defence. Dave said he's doing well. What he's got at his disposal. We're not far away, and I don't see us going down. David saying, how about going for a win? In those 3 drawn games, 3 wins, 9 points, 2 wins, 6 points, 1 win, 3 points. That's all it would take. We are just that, aren't we? We're just 1 win out of those 3 draws from coming out of the bottom 3. Very, very fine margins. Adam saying, very surprised by the negativity around Nuno. How many players have improved under Nuno compared to regressed? Bowen was the only player looking at a form, and even he's turned a corner. I agree about players improving. Yeah. Ryan said Patreon is definitely worth it. Oh, thank you, Ryan. I've had it for a while now, and it's definitely worth the money. The extra content's really good, in his opinion. Thank you. There you go. There's a nice little Trip Advisor review. Mark's looking forward to the first under-21 watch along. Thank you. Ryan and Dean are also joining me tomorrow, so that's 3 or 4 of us. That's good. Chippy, can we find someone to sponsor the under-21s watch alongs? Probably not, because they're obviously going to want like views, aren't they? They're going to say, how much views does your watch along get? And if I'm sitting here going, at best we might get 100 people, I'd imagine that's what we're going to get. They're going to say no thank you. So say la vie. It's one of those videos I'm going to do because I think I'm going to enjoy it. We'll see. Bennett says, just join in, but I think Nuno's done everything right yesterday apart from the last 10 minutes. And although we were unlucky with a goal conceded, his tactics led to their goal. And I think that's fair. You know, it's possible to think Nuno's done a good job and we were unlucky, but also think that the tactics were incorrect. What Bennett's doing here is suggesting that tactically Nuno was right for 80 minutes and wrong for 10. And I think that's fair. I do think that is very fair. It's not always black or white, is it? David, do you think Earthy, Myers, Marshall and Kante will play tomorrow? Yes. I think they'll go as strong as possible. It's a big game. The EFL Trophy is a huge game for the under-21s. And we've seen in the National Trophy as well, he will put the big players in there for the under-21s to try and win the game. And we even used Souček in the previous game, one of the group stage games of this trophy that we're in tomorrow. Souček played. So I think all those that you mentioned, I think they'll play it. Same with Golan Beckis. I think he'll play as well. I think all the big hitters for the under-21s will be out. And I hope they are. David saying, why is Pigs getting all my attention? I like to think I'm quite fair with the comments. I just scroll down, clicking on every, I don't know, third one or something. I'll do my best to be fair. Didn't think am I giving Pigs attention? Didn't feel like I was. Feel like original Dave was getting more, and Randy. Anyway, Fish says I would not sell Souček as he's likely to score more winners this season, and that could keep us up. Papa saying his wife's in labour and I wouldn't be able to cope. Well, best of luck to your wife and best of luck to you. I think sometimes the role of the dad is underrated. I think understandably all the attention is on the mum. I'm not trying to say it shouldn't be, but I think sometimes it can be a really mentally difficult thing for dads to go through as well. And I don't think the support is there for the dad. I think there's none. It's not 95%, 5%. I think it's just 100%, 0%. And I think most people would say that's okay. And I get it. But I hope you're okay. Whilst obviously I hope your wife is okay and your little one's okay. I hope you're okay as well. It's a tough thing being a man in the labour. You feel useless. Where it says FA Cup draw, I hope we get an easy one. Yeah, we can avoid one of the big ones, one of the big teams away. It's just when it comes out, you think, oh. Anyway, Paul would sell Souček for 12, 15 million for reasons I said. He doesn't fit anywhere. We need the cash for rebuild, and lots of our dead won't generate funds. It is that. There's not many players with good market value that would be desirable. You know, we're trying to offload Ward-Prowse and Fulkrug, but they're probably going to be loans, possibly free transfers, stuff like that, just to get their wages off the books. So you may need one or two that command a chunky fee, and I think Guilherme, is at the top of that list, as well as Hermansen. But Souček would command that fee. It's just whether or not we sell him. Graham said, West Ham need pace, someone to transition the ball from defence to attack in the blink of an eye. Whom do you support, Graham, if you don't mind me asking? Hopefully you're not that Everton fan from earlier that I've just forgot the name of. But let us know who you support and what you think of West Ham. Oh, crap, I've just seen the time. Right, a few more minutes, then I'll get going. Next saying, we don't offer enough in attack to worry our opponents, so one or two strikers in January are essential, plus a winger to supply them with crosses. X says, don't want to say this, but I was impressed with Kilman. Still think he's poor. He was fine. I think everyone was. I think everyone was fine yesterday. I don't think anyone had a bad game. Rodriguez, I thought, was fine. I thought Kilman was fine. And I think that's the second game in a row I felt like that as well. And I feel like everybody, whether they're playing well or average, they're giving 100%. Dave's joining us tomorrow, especially when I lose my rag to a late goal. Lovely. I'm glad you enjoy it. Gary, with Nuno, I'm finding that I want him to do well and get angry and have my humble pie, ready to eat it and start again. What a roller coaster. Broccoli saying, don't know how you guys are solely blaming Nuno when we had clear-cut chances to win 3 or 4-0. Adrian says team needs to be much better at the dark arts. Tomorrow's video. Tune in tomorrow, Adrian. That's tomorrow's video. I want to discuss that as well. Barry saying, I don't see why we play all three of our centre-backs when some can't keep fit. Not a fan. Todibo and Mavpanos do all right with wing-backs. Thank you very much to Bodger for the £2 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate your support. And he says, Nuno is the man. I think he is. I think he is for where we are. Mark saying being an expectant batter is less stressful than watching Nuno's team for the last 10 minutes. To be fair, I was watching... who did we play? I think it was Wolves. We played when... Graham said he's a Forest fan. Oh, I do remember you now. But it's not my memory. There's 300 people watching right now. There's 40,000 subscribers. It's a difficult thing to remember everyone. And there's the other channel, the Tartan Geo channel as well, where there's a whole host of fans that support Sunderland, Aston Villa, Newcastle. It's difficult to keep up, right? Leave me be. Anyway, I can't remember what I was talking about. Yeah, we played Wolves when Lauren was in labour, but she wasn't on the labour ward as such. She was in the delivery suite, so she had her thing to get her going. And she was just reading a book, so I put the football on. We played, it was the Monday night. I'm sure it was Wolves we played. Anyway, could be wrong. Jack saying, Man U scored to a lucky deflection. Brighton scored due to poor VAR. Could have been back-to-back wins and clean sheets. Let's see if Leeds can keep this luck up. 2 goals against Chelsea were just luck. Yeah, I mean, I was gutted when they scored that equaliser against Liverpool. And Nick saying, Grace update, hope she's well. She's all right, thank you. And turns 1 on Wednesday. So she's already opened some presents, though, because people came round on Saturday to see her. And I think you feel a bit bad, don't you? Like if you just keep the present and then they don't get to see them. I say see her open them. She didn't really know what was going on. Lauren opened them. Grace just sat there playing with the paper more than anything. But she's all right, thank you. we've got no more appointments for the year. I think we've got a couple of appointments early next year, but I think we've got a bit of a clean streak between now and sure it's early January. We're next in the hospital for more checkups. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'll leave it to Lauren. It's difficult to keep up with. Anyway, right then. Thank you very much. I'm going to go because Monday Night Football has started and a Christmas tree needs to be erected. Otherwise, I'll be in the bad books. I've done well to get to the 8th of December with no Christmas tree up, but I've lost the argument now. But I'm going to put it on and listen to Monday Night Football. But massive thank you to you guys. If you're watching this later on, please get involved in the comment sections below. And you can talk about, I think the Souček. Would you sell Souček? I think was an interesting question by Paul. But before you go, please do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up button, subscribing to Hammers Chat. I'll catch you tomorrow. I'm going to do a video tomorrow during the day. And then tomorrow night, 7:30, I'm live on the channel doing a watch along with Under 21. So you're watching Colchester West Ham tomorrow night. Please come and join me on the stream because there'll only be at most 100 people. So your company, while it's much appreciated, it's also much needed tomorrow night. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.